Hello everybody on YouTube, it's Michael here again, and this video is going to be part 2 of the tutorial of the Yamaha PSR-SX920 keyboard. Thank you very much for watching and hope you enjoy. Okay, so now the first thing that I'm going to show you on part 2 of the tutorial of the Yamaha PSR-SX920 keyboard, and that is how to update to the latest firmware. Now with the firmware updates, you could have like extra features if it was a big firmware, or small firmware updates which includes bug fixes and things to make the keyboard work even better when it comes to bug fixes. And just a reminder, just like I said on part 1 of my tutorial, this tutorial and all other tutorials of the PSR-SX920 will also help those who have a PSR-SX720. Okay, so before I update the firmware, to find out what firmware version your keyboard has, we just go to Menu, Page 2, and then we go to Utility. And then we go to System. And there we go. Up here it says version. That is the current firmware of the keyboard. And now I've got my USB stick here with me, which contains the latest firmware for the SX920, which is of course version 1.12. And now what version 1.12 does, and I'm just going to turn on the Accomp. Now what that does, as you can hear, you just get the piano Accomp when the style isn't being played. Now they fixed that. I think that was a bug of the SX920 in which they have fixed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my USB stick, just find the right hole. There we go. Oh, it's also got the it's still currently got the voice guide.
Home.
Yes, it's still got the voice guide, so you'll hear this.
Style.
Yes.
Pop. Throwback pop.
Okay,
Home.
let me just quickly turn that off. I should have.
Menu 2. Utility. System. Speaker. Touch screen. Next page. Page.
If I can just find it, I'm just trying to find
Parameter lock. Store. System. Next page.
Okay.
Page. Voice guide.
Yeah, I'm just going to turn that off for now. Voice guide. Okay. Right, so in order to update the firmware, we will need to turn off the keyboard. So we just wait for the keyboard to turn off. And in order to update the firmware, we need to turn on the keyboard whilst holding the stop button, as shown here. And as you turn on the keyboard whilst holding the stop button, the firmware update screen will pop up. There we go. It's saying now searching install data. And now it depends on what the update is. So I'm no doubt that there will be future updates for the SX920. Depending on how big the update is, it can be fast or it could be long for the update to finish. Okay, so the update program, version 1.12. And in order to start the installation, we just press the stop button. So now it's in the middle of being updated. As I said, depending on the update, it can be a reasonable time, or if it's a big update, it can take longer. So it's currently on step 1. It says now installing, please wait a moment. And notice, do not try to turn off the power until all installations are finished, because if you did that, that can cause problems. There we go, it's now on step 3. Step 2 happens so quickly. Like if you turn off the keyboard whilst it's installing, like the keyboard probably won't start, and then you would have to send it to Yamaha to get it professionally repaired. That's never happened before, because I wouldn't attempt it. The only time it would happen is if there was like a power surge or a power cut whilst it's in the middle of installing, which thankfully has never happened to me yet. Well, I say yet, but I hope it will never happen. Okay, so it's currently on step 3. It's installing the update. Step 4. Step 5. Just a little more. It shouldn't be long now. And there we go. Updating has been completed. Turn the power off. The version of the installed program is version 1.12, which is the current firmware for the PSR-SX920. And I think the SX720 has the same as well. So now we turn on the keyboard again. Wait for it to boot up. There you go, it boots up like normal. And now we go to menu, page 2, utility, and then go to system. And there we go. It's now version 1.12. It was version 1.10 before I updated it. So there you go. And that is how you update to the latest firmware. Also works the same way with the Tyros, Genos, the PSR-S, PSR-SX. It all works the same way on how to update the firmware. You turn on the keyboard whilst holding the start stop button. Press start stop to start updating. Wait for the keyboard to update, then you just turn it off, back on, and then it will be on the latest firmware update. Something I forgot to say about the firmware update. Notice I pressed the Accomp. Now the bug has been fixed, so now I should get strings and not piano. So that was just the update which had a bug fix, because it was previously the piano sound when playing the Accomp, but now it's strings. So that's just a quick something that I forgot to add. But that is one of the bug fixes. Okay, so now the next thing that I'm going to show you, and that is touchscreen calibration. Now let's just say that you've used the keyboard a lot, and then there'll come to a time where the touchscreen isn't working correctly. So currently my touchscreen is working absolutely fine. But there might be a time that you use it so much that the touchscreen will start to be intermittent. Like it happened on my Genos 1 once, where I'd press it up there like user, but nothing would happen. But if I press it sort of like here, it tends to work. So it's not like correct. So I'll show it to you. We go to menu, menu 2, utility, and then we go to touchscreen/display, and then we tap calibration, and it says touch the precise center of each mark shown in the display. So we just have to tap those. And finally the one in the middle. And there we go. And then after that, in most cases, the touchscreen will work fine. And also with the touchscreen, we can have the sound on or off. So we set it, if we set it to on, you can hear a sort of a ticking noise, like it's going tick, tick. Let me just turn the keyboard up. Well, I never really use that feature myself. Let's see here. It says speaker only. I'm guessing speaker only is like if you have headphones on. But it will still come out from the speaker and not the headphones. So I'm going to currently set that to off. So that's just the touchscreen feature. Let's see here, display, like pop-up display time. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, it's like if you say if he's done tempo, it appears for 3 seconds and then it disappears. Or let's just say 1.5 seconds. So now we press that and it goes quicker. It's there for 1.5 seconds and it's gone. And you can have it up to hold. So it will always be there. It won't disappear. Unless you press exit or the cross. Or you can have it up to 6 seconds. So you leave it for 6 seconds and then it will disappear. There we go. Let's just set that to the default. I'm not sure what that is. Transition effect. I've currently set it to off, but I'm not sure what that is. File selection. Timestamp. I think it's to do with like the sounds and styles. There's nothing on there. But if I tap show. Or is that to do with the sounds? Actually, you know what? I'm not fully sure. I thought it was... Because I know I've seen something like that on the Tyros. A dial operation. Move cursor. Select. See, some of these I don't really use, and I don't think a lot of people would use. Okay, anyway, moving on. We can adjust the brightness of the buttons and the touchscreen. So this is the display, the touchscreen. We can notice how it's getting dark, and then we put it to 100. There we go. So that's just the display brightness of the touchscreen. And now, if you bear with me, I'm just going to move you to the buttons, because we got this here, button lamps. So I'll show that to you. So 1 second. Okay, so I directed you to the style control because of the guide lamps here. And we can make them dimmer or brighter using the brightness. So earlier on you've seen on the screen button lamps. So it's currently set to 2. Now 3 and 4, they will start getting lighter. There you go. It's at its brightest. And then we go down to 1. It's at its dimmest. So there you go. The lights are at the brightest, semi-brightest, default, and dim. So we just put that back to default. So there you go. And that is the touchscreen calibration, along with other stuff such as the touchscreen brightness, button lamps, and some other things like pop-up display time, etc. Okay, so now the next thing that I'm going to show you, and that is Chord Looper, in which you can make your own chord progressions. First introduced in the PSR-SX920. Yes, we have Chord Looper, and we can make our own chord progressions and then we can play back those progressions, which leaves both our hands to play the melodies on the keyboard. I'll show that to you. So we just select a style, but it doesn't really matter what one, because the Chord Looper does it with the Chord Looper applies to every style. So I'm just going to do an example. Okay. And then what we do, we just press record, and we just press direct access to get within easy access to the Chord Looper. Okay, so now the keyboard waits for us to play some chord progressions. So here. And now we can play that back. See, I'm not touching the keyboard, it's memorising my progressions. And now we select memory. There we go. So that's our chord progression saved. And now we can do 8 more. No, sorry, 7 more. You can do 8 in total. So that's our first chord progression loop. We can do another. So let's just do things a bit differently. Okay, so we're going to record. And now the keyboard waits for us to play some chord progressions. So let's just take this for instance. There we go. And then we can play that back. And we just press memory. Select which one we want. Select the Chord Looper memory number to memorise the data. So now we've got our second chord progressions. Now let's just do one more example. So we just press record and the keyboard waits for us to play. So here we go. And then we just play that back. Oh, okay, I don't know what happened there, but I'm going to start that one again. So, okay, now we play that again. There we go. And now, memory, and there we go. That's our 3 chord progressions. And upon with the Chord Looper, that leaves us both hands to play a melody. If we're like playing a song, for example, that requires both hands to play the melody. So let's just take this one for instance. And we turn it on. There we go. Or let's just do a different sound for this one. So it just goes on like that with the Chord Looper. Really useful feature. Oops, I was meant to turn that on. Then once you're happy with your chord looper, you can save that. So go to save. Save here. I'm going to give it a name. And there we go. And that is our chord looper saved. There are, of course, some preset chord loopers, but you can create your own. And there you go. And that is chord looper. So you can record your own chord progressions and then turn on the chord looper. So the chord progression plays, which leaves both hands to play melodies in particular songs. Okay, so now the next thing that I'm going to show you, and that is making a backup and loading a backup of the PSR-SX920. The same thing applies to the SX720, the previous generation, the Genos and Tyros 5. And I believe the PSR-S770 and 970, but correct me if I'm wrong in that regard. So basically what it is that you can make a backup, but at the moment I've got absolutely nothing on the PSR-SX920. So I've got no user registrations, I've got no user styles, no user multipads, and I have no user voices. The user. And I also have no user MIDI songs or audio songs. Now, before I sold my PSR-SX900, I've backed everything up. So I've got all my registrations, songs, styles, etc., which I've put on this USB stick before I sold my SX900. So for this example, to create a backup, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put the USB stick in, there we go. I'm actually going to load everything on the user from the SX900. So here we go, the registration, USB, and I'm going to go to my file. There you go, the PSR-SX900 backup. And I've got all these things like registrations, multipads, songs and styles, etc. So there's registrations. Oh, I don't know what that is. Oh, guitar effects. Oh, yes. Because on these keyboards you can hook a guitar. Though I won't be able to show that because I don't know how to play guitar. But there's a microphone / guitar. So you can switch between microphone and guitar. And the keyboard's built-in DSP effects will work. Anyway, now moving back to the subject, the backup. So I've got all these registrations and on the USB, and then we have preset style, because I've made a backup of the preset styles of the SX900. So we just go to that, go to SX900 backup, go to the styles, preset styles, and take that for example. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to copy everything onto the user of the SX920, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back again, and I've just copied everything that I put on a USB stick from my SX900. So now, in the user section, there you go, I've got all my registrations from the SX900. I've got all my user styles. Got multipads. And we got voices. Yep, including GM and XG and GM2. And finally we got my MIDI songs that I've recorded, and also the audio songs. Okay, so now that I've copied everything from my SX900, and now we go to menu, go to utility, and to back it up, we go to factory reset / backup. Make sure you have a USB stick connected, in which case I do. And now to back it all up, because it's necessary to make backup files, there is a way to back it up. Then you can just back it up and all in one folder simply by pressing backup, or you can back up in a more complex way, is going through styles and voices and then copying them and pasting them individually. Okay, so for this instance, I am going to include audio files. So we tick the box, include audio files, and then we just press backup. To back up the settings, data of the instrument, connect the USB flash drive, which I have. Press OK. Back up the data to the USB flash drive. USB, yeah. And now it's backing up everything that is on the user section of the keyboard. It's not just sounds and styles and songs. It could be like digital effects that you've made, like reverb and MIDI, and also the MIDI settings as well. But I haven't done any of that. All I did was the sounds, styles, songs, registrations, and multipads, etc. Okay, so now it's currently backing up everything. There we go. The backup is now completed. It's now created in the root of the USB flash drive. So we just press OK. And now, I wouldn't usually do a factory reset, but I'm going to for the purpose of this video. So what I'm going to do is going to factory reset everything. It's now executing.
Factory reset. Backup.
Oh, we don't want that.
Touch screen. Display.
Where are we?
System. Next page. Voice guide.
Yeah, let's just turn that off. Okay. Also, I'm going to factory reset the storage so we can format the storage. Now before, as you saw, I had my all my stuff from my SX900 backed up, so that includes styles, voices and registrations. But now that I formatted the storage, they're no longer there. I don't have them anymore, so no registrations, no user styles, voices, multipads or songs, etc. But since I've made a backup file, so we just go back to menu and utility. Since I've now made a backup file, we just go to restore, so that you can load the backup. To restore the backup file to the instrument, connect the USB flash drive which contains the backup file, PSR-SX920.bup, which is short for backup, and we just tap OK. Restoring the backup file will erase the settings and data in the instrument, so anything you've already got saved, it will be erased and replaced by the backup file. And now it's saying that it's loading the backup file. Now, depending on how many files you have, it could be a quick loading or it could take a bit longer. For this instance, it could take a bit longer because I've got like audio songs, multipads, styles, or it could be quick. We just have to wait and see. It's currently loading. As you saw earlier on, I factory reset the keyboard, so I have absolutely nothing in the user. I just thought I'd do this as an example. I wouldn't usually do a factory reset, but I did for the purpose of this example. So it's loading the backup file now. So we just need to wait for that to load. There we go. Loading of the backup has been completed. The instrument will be restarted. We tap OK. And the keyboard restarts itself. And I should now have everything that I had on the user when I created that backup file. Notice that I've made the backup, then I've factory reset the keyboard, so therefore I've got nothing on the keyboard because I factory reset it. And now I've loaded the backup, and now I should have my stuff back again. There we go. User, got all my registrations. Go to style. I've got my I've got my styles, multipads. I've got those as well, and we also have the songs. So everything that you have on the backup has been loaded back on. So there you go, and that is making a backup and loading a backup, which I think it's necessary to have a backup, so that, let's just say that you've accidentally lost something, you have that file in which you can load the backup and you'll have everything back again. Okay, so now the next thing that I'm going to show you, and that is playlist. Now I've already gone through playlist a few times, from the Genos 1, the SX900 and Genos 2, and playlist is what replaced the Tyros music finder. So I will show it to you, and I think playlist works in a better way than the music finder, because you can use, they use your registrations, or registrations that you've downloaded from the Yamaha website, which of course I have done. So I will load those up. So it's onto user, USB, and I've got a playlist for PSR-SX920. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy those over to registration. Going to copy that, and since they're just registrations, they shouldn't take long. Yep, hopefully shouldn't take long at all. There we go. Playlist for PSR-SX920. We just go to playlist. There's nothing currently on the playlist at the moment, but since I've put the files in the registration, there we go, playlist ballroom. There you go. And we have the playlist. We just tap that, and notice the registration memory there has loaded up. So that's the playlist of the SX920. Or let's just say that we want to select another playlist. Let's just say dance, for instance. There we go. We got all the dance playlists. We just tap enter to load. And we have like different registration memories here. So it's nice and simple, the playlist. But what if you want to create your own playlist? Well, I will show that to you. So we just tap this button here, this icon, new. A new playlist will be created. Continue. There you go. It's completely empty. And then what I'm going to do is use my own registration memories that I created on the SX900 to create my own playlist. So go to new playlist. We go to add record. Search from registration bank, or select from registration bank. But that's what I'm going to go to, select from registration bank. Not any of those, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to select some of my own. So let's just take some of these, for instance. Let's take a few, only as an example. Add to playlist, and there you go. Those are my registrations, and they have been added to this here playlist. And now, if you want to save your playlist, we just tap save, go to save here, give it a name. I'm just going to name it example because this is an example of the playlist. And there you go, and that's your very own playlist saved. And you can still continue to add more registrations to the playlist. You can add up to 2,500 registrations of playlist. And then once you exceed that amount, you can just go ahead and create a new playlist. Now with Tyros Music Finder, 2,500 records were the maximum. That's it, you couldn't load any more. But with this here playlist, it does it so much better. You can have a total of 2,500 titles of the playlist. And then you can just create a new playlist and add another 2,500, for instance. So that's really cool. So that's just an example of the playlist. Now, with the Music Finder files, although they're Music Finder files, but they can be converted to a playlist. So I'll show that to you. So let's just go to this here. That's it. Go to USB. And what I did is that I have downloaded the PSR-S920 Music Finder. Now, I used to have a PSR-S970, but then I sold that to get the SX900. Okay, so here you can see PSR-S970, S975 Music Finder. It even says there, Music Finder. I've even got the one for Tyros 5. But for this instance, I'm going to do S970. So we just tap that. And it says the selected Music Finder file will be converted to a playlist file. Continue. We select yes. And now what that does is that it changes all the Music Finder titles into registrations. And since there's quite a lot of song titles, this might take a bit long. So what I'm going to do is that this part, I'm just going to speed up the video. So the video will be sped up now. And there you go. And that's the Music Finder has now been converted to a playlist file. Wow, that took a lot longer than I thought. That must have taken about approximately 4 to 5 minutes, but it's done. Okay, so now we have the S970 playlist. And also, we go to registration. Go to the user section. And there we go. It's made a registration folder here, the S970, S975 Music Finder. And what that does is that it converts them all into registrations. In which they've also been added to this here playlist. There's 1,594 different registrations of the playlist. It's no wonder why it took a long time. So there you go. And that is Playlist, in which we can download playlists from the Yamaha website, or you can use your own registration memories and create your own playlist, or you can convert Music Finder files from the Tyros or the PSR-S keyboards, convert them into playlist in which registrations are made. since it works on the PSR-S920 music finder, I'm pretty sure that the previous models like the PSR-S950, S910, S900, I'm sure that the music finder files will also work as well when being converted into a playlist. Okay, so now the next thing that I'm going to show you, and that is registration memory. With this here registration memory buttons, in which we can create our registrations for instant call up whenever you press the button. So you can make your settings and then save those settings on the registration memory, and then one touch of a button will instantly call it up. So I will show that to you. So I'm going to do a few examples of the registration memory. So first of all, I'm just going to do a simple one. So I'm going to select my style, which of course I'm just going to select this one. And I'm going to go through the one-touch settings of that style. I will go more in depth of the one-touch settings very soon on this video. So I'm going to select my sound. Just a quick and simple. Oh, and I'm gonna. So it's got a fill-in. So the first one is just going to be simple. I'm just using the style and one of the style's one-touch settings. I've also tapped variation D. It's flashing, so it will automatically have a fill-in. So once you're happy with everything, you just press memory and press one of the 8 registration memory buttons. So we just press 1, and there you go. That's our registration memory saved. So when we press it, okay, now for the next example, I'm going to select a different style. I'm going to select a different style. Put it onto, say, variation C. And for this example, I am just going to go through the voices and just select my own voices. I'm not going to rely on the style's one-touch settings. So let's just say here, we different voices. So let's just say what we got here. Let's say electric guitar, for instance. Okay, I am going to select a different sound. Okay, and now I'm going to select another sound for the right hand too. I don't know what that'll be yet, but I will find the sound. Let me just think of one. I know, how about like an organ, for instance? Or so put them together. You can slightly hear the organ, and I'm just going to go to the mixer, and I'm going to just turn up one of the sounds. So I'm going to turn up the organ. So maybe not that high. Let's just set it to 100. So and for right 3, I'm going to have some a sort of a monophonic synth sound. Let's have a look. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to call up the voice. Where is it? Trying to find it, because I think that the octave of that synth is a bit too low. So if I can just find it, the voice calling up the voice part set. There you go, the voice part setup. I will show more of this later on in this video. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the octave up on the synth. So there you go. That's the three sounds. I've got a guitar sound, organ sound, and a mono synth sound. And then once you're happy with everything, we press memory, press one of the 8 buttons, and that's our second registration memory saved. Now for the next bit, I'm going to turn channel parts on and off with a style. So I'll just take this one for instance. I'm gonna press intro 1. Well, actually, I'm not going to do that yet. I'm actually going to turn some parts off of a style. Okay. I am going to select a one touch setting because it'd be much more simpler than to find my own sounds. But I've already done that example with this here. Okay, so I'm going to find a... Okay. I'm going to press intro 1. Once you're happy with everything, we just press memory. And this time I'm going to press button number 3. So now we have some channel parts off within that style. Okay, now moving on. We're going to select a different style, but this time I am going to sort of like change the volume and revoice parts of a style. So I am going to select another dance style. It doesn't matter which one. Let's just take this one for instance, and let's go to variation B. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the volume, go to mixer. We're going to go to style. We're going to change the volumes of some of these channel parts, and we're also going to revoice some of the parts as well. Okay, so I tweaked the volume on a few channel parts, and now I'm going to go to the channel selection and we're going to revoice some of them. Once you're happy with your settings, we just press memory, and this time button number 4. Oh, I am going to change the one touch setting. Hopefully it doesn't change the... Okay. So we got 4 registration memory saved. Now I'm going to do one more example. I'm going to select a different style. I'm going to go through some different sounds, and what I'm going to do is that I am going to change some DSP effects of the sounds. Okay, so let's think of one, for example. Bear with me. Well, let's just take this one, for instance. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to select a one-touch setting, make things simple, or you can just select your own sounds. It's entirely up to you. So okay, we'll just select this one-touch setting. So we've got the guitar, organ, and we got the EP sound. And we got organ. Oh, there we go. And we got EP. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to change the DSP effects of those sounds. So go to menu, voice part setup, and this is where we can change our DSP. So let's just oh no, how about we change this into a wah-wah effect. Oh, and this is for the guitar, by the way. So let's just find one. Oh, we've got delay. Let me see if I can't find a sort of a... If I can find a distortion wah-wah, then I'll take it. Distortion. There we go. A sort of a multi-effects crunch wah. Go to close, and we can actually change the parameters here, like the DSP, like the distortion equalizer, the wah wah. So let's see if we can speed it up. Oh no, that's a good one. That's a good one. Now let's see if we can speed up the wah wah. I know, I think it's the tempo. Oh no, it's not. Okay. I thought you could speed up the wah with the tempo, but no. Let's see if we can find it. I wonder if it could be LFO speed. Okay, you know what? I'd accept that for that sound. And now for the next sound. So let's just get out of that. We go to classic bars, organ. We're going to select that. What if we want a sort of a crunchy distortion sound? Okay. I'll just find one. Yes, that'll do. We can change the bass of that. Like, we can change like different things on here. It's pretty cool. What if we change it? Change the treble. Output. Oh yeah, that's a bit too loud. But the good thing is that we can change these things. SP type. Okay, where's my distortion? Actually, you know what? Let's find a different. Okay, that'll do. We can change these. There you go, you've got that sort of really distorted sound there. Okay, then finally, we're going to do the right voice free, and we're going to change the DSP effect of that as well. So let's just see here. We got the okay. Let's do a sort of a delay effect. So just changing some things here. Okay, so within those three sounds, I have changed the DSP effects on each of the sounds. And we've got our style. Once you're happy with your settings, simply just press memory along with one of the 8 buttons. And there we go. So that's all the registration memories that I've done, saved. So the first one, I just selected a style and one of the style's one-touch settings. Nice and simple. The second one, I've done, what did I do on that one? Oh yeah, I've changed my own sounds, not relying on the one-touch settings. And the third one is turning channel parts off. The fourth one is altering the volume of the channel parts and revoicing them. And finally, number 5 is changing the DSP effects of the sounds. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. I am going to give it a name. I'm just going to call it example. Oh, wrong one. Where are we? I need to save it. There we go. Go to save. Save here. Example. Okay. And there you go. And that is my registration memory saved. So that's my bank saved. So here are the registration memories. And this one. And now the third one. The fourth one. And finally, the last one. So there you go. And that is registration memory, in which you can make your settings and then save it as a registration, so that you can, when you save it, one touch of a button will instantly call up the settings you've done. So you don't have to go through all of that, going through different functions and getting those settings again, because one touch of a registration memory button will instantly call up the settings you have saved, which includes the voices, the styles, turning channel parts on and off, revoicing, even the styles, which I haven't shown on this example, but yeah, even the split point of the styles and so on. You know, everything, every setting that you do and you saved it as a registration memory, just one touch of a button will instantly call up the settings you have saved, such as your voices, DSP effects, styles, and certain channel parts of the styles, and so on. Okay, so now the next thing that I'm going to show you, and that is registration memory sequence, in which we can make a sequence with the pedal. So I've got a sustain pedal connected to the keyboard right now, and we just go to menu, and then we select registration sequence, which we select here, and we can make a sequence of registrations. So let's just say that your both hands are busy when playing a song and you don't have time to press the registration memory button. You could just use a pedal with the sequence. So I will show that to you. Okay, so it's currently set to the registration sequence. Yeah, we better turn it on. Let me just think. So since it's set to on, let me just figure out. Yeah, I'm holding down the sustain now. Usually it would sustain the keyboard, but it's not, because sequence is turned on. Now, if I turn it off, it'll be sustained. There we go, we just turned it on. All right, so let's start our sequence. So we will insert whichever one of these we want. So we've got one here, for instance. So we just press insert. One is selected. And now, what if I want the next sequence to be the fourth one? We select 4 and we go to insert. And now the next one, we're going to do 2, insert. And then the next one, 3, insert. So we're just making a sequence here in which we use the pedal to toggle that sequence. And then we're going to select number 5. Let's see, how many can we do? It's like 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 14, 18, 20. We can have up to 32 different registration sequences, which is quite a lot. And I've never had to completely fill the entire bank of sequence up. Okay, so and now we've got, so the sequence is 1, 4, 2, 3, 5, and now we want it to say number 2, for instance. Insert, and then we want 4, insert. So very simple stuff, really. And then we want 1 again, 3, and 5. So that's my registration sequence. Now, with the pedal, let's see here. Yep. Oh, I think we have to save it first. So that's the sequence. So yeah, nothing's happening yet because we need to save it. And also, we have the registration plus, registration minus. So I don't have a secondary pedal connected, but I am going to select pedal 2 as minus. So yeah, nothing's happening yet because I haven't saved it. So we are going to go ahead and save that sequence. Save here. Yeah. And now on top of the registration memory here, you got the numbers here. That is my sequence. So watch as the registration memory button, these change as I press the pedal in the sequence I've made. So I'll show it to you. As you can see, it's changing. And I'm not even touching the registration memory buttons because I'm using the pedal with my foot to change them. Okay, so now that the sequence has ended, now if I just connect this to the secondary pedal, there we go. Since pedal 2 is minus, notice up there, it goes down the sequence. And then nothing happens because it's at the end. So let's just put the this one here, connect it to pedal 1, and we can simply go through our sequence of registration banks. So there you go. And that is registration memory sequence, in which we can make a sequence of registrations. Let's just do that one again. Yeah, which we can make a sequence of our registrations so that we can change them with the touch of a pedal with your foot, as shown here. Okay, so now the next thing that I'm going to show you, and that is one touch setting, or OTS for short. So here we have the one touch setting buttons here on the sort of the center right of the video clip here, the one touch settings. So for each of the 575 styles there are on the PSR-SX920, there are 4 one touch settings per style. So we got this style, and they have different one touch settings. So or let's just say let's take another style, for instance, such as this one. But what if you want to add your own one touch settings? Well, you can, and I will show that to you. It's very similar to creating your own registration memories, but you are instead changing the one touch settings. So okay, so I've selected my style. What I'm going to do, here's something about the registration memory which I haven't showed you earlier, and that is the freeze. Now what freeze does, we just go to direct access and you can select what freezes. So hold down freeze, and sorry, we just press freeze, and the ones that are not selected would be changed. The ones that are ticked are frozen, so that means everything else changes, but as you can see, the style itself doesn't change. Anyway, more about that in a moment. So I've got these one touch settings here. I've got these registration memories that I've done earlier, and what I'm going to do is that I am going to save those sounds. Oh, what did I? Oh yeah, the freeze doesn't do anything. Yeah. Where's that style? Here we go. So I'm going to select freeze so that the style doesn't change, but the sounds do. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is the registration memories that I've created, I'm going to select these rows of sounds and change them on the one touch setting. So in order to do that, we press memory, but instead of pressing one of the registration memory buttons, we press one of the full one touch setting buttons. So for this one, I'm going to have as number 1 in the one touch setting. That's been saved. And now it's come up saying one touch setting data has been changed. If you select another style without executing the save operation, the data you changed will be lost. Save. I'm not going to save yet because there's still more that I want to do. So we're going to select no. And now we're going to go to another registration that I've done earlier. And we're going to press memory and press one touch setting number 2. So I'm literally changing all the one touch settings of that style. Again, this one. Memory and number 3. And finally, okay, memory and number 4. Okay, so now I have changed all the one touch settings of that style, and now we need to save that style onto the user section because I've changed the one touch settings. So I need to save that. So one touch setting change. And that's the style saved. And I also changed the name. I changed it into OTS change example. So let me just show you real quick. Okay, so this is the style that I've selected. And these are the default one touch settings of that style. And then we go to user, and where is it? Style OTS change example. Same style. It's the same style, except the one touch settings have been changed. I've changed them into my own one touch settings. So okay, now that I've showed the one touch setting, and to make your own one touch settings as I showed on here, now let me just go through a review of the registration memory that I haven't I forgot to do. I thought I'd do it now, and that's the freeze. Okay, so freeze, we go to direct access because it's easier. Anything that are ticked will freeze. So basically what that is that it doesn't change. There you go. You can see the style is not changing, but the sounds are changing. And then we just go through just one more quick example. Let's untick style and tick voice. So now there's my sounds. Notice the style changes, but the sounds doesn't. Well, maybe except for the, as you can see, the left-hand side voice. So let's just put that back. So that's the freeze setting, in which you can freeze things. So you can change the sound, you can change the sounds, but the styles won't change, and vice versa, and so on. And there are different functions like Chord Looper and Scale Tune. Things like that, they can be frozen or unfrozen with this freeze button here. So there you have it. And that is one touch setting. And to create your own one touch settings, and what I did is that I've used the registration memories that I've created earlier to create my own one touch settings. So I've used the same sounds as I did with the registration, just as a quick example. And that is one touch setting and one touch setting change, in which you can create your own one touch settings. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to show you, and that is direct access, in which we press this here direct access button along with any of these buttons, and it will take you directly to that function. So I will show that to you. So here, go to the menu. We've got all these different functions like mixer, channel on off, registration sequence, assignable, etc., voice edit, and so on. But with direct access, we can press that button along with another button, and it will take us directly to that function. So, for example, you won't be able to see it on the video, but I press direct access. I'm going to go ahead and press the Accomp button, and that will take us straight to the split point and fingering. Let's see what it does when we go to, like, say, press one of the variations. Takes us to the mixer or break, same thing. Chord Looper takes us straight to the function. Direct access, mixer takes us to the channel part, on off. And direct access, let's just say we go to harmony / arpeggio. It takes us straight to the harmony / arpeggio menu. And let's just press one of the assignable buttons, like let's say this one. It takes us to the assignable. The same thing goes to the assignable buttons above the joystick. And let's see here, joystick. I'm just going to touch the joystick. Takes us to the live control. The Joystick Assign. Direct access, and then we just press exit. It takes us straight back to the home menu. And let's think of some more examples. Let's say here playlist. It takes us to the preset playlist. Direct access. Let's go to right one. It goes straight to voice edit. Direct access. Song player MIDI, and song player audio. MIDI takes us to the score, and audio takes us to the song setting. So there's many things you can do within direct access. Now, I remember back on the PSR-8000 that you actually had to hold down the direct access button and then pressing another button. But on this keyboard, along with the Tyros keyboards and other keyboards, you don't have to hold down direct access. Okay, so direct access, let's just touch the live control knob here. Takes us to the control knob assign. Direct access, transpose, takes us to the master and keyboard and song. So there's just a lot of things you can do within the direct access. Let's go for some more examples. One touch setting. It gives you the style information, the voices for each one touch setting, which is pretty good. And also, by the looks of things, you can select the one touch settings directly from the screen. Notice how these buttons are changing as I'm selecting selecting it from the screen. That's pretty cool. Direct access, multi-pad. There you go. Takes us to the multi-pad. Oh, multi-pad edit. Let's think of one more example. How about next to the harmony/arpeggio, the sustain button? Direct access, sustain. Again, just takes us to voice edit. How about the microphone settings? Takes us to the user mic settings. How about menu? It just takes us to the scale tune. That's pretty cool though. Or how about joystick hold? It just takes us to the joystick assign. So there you go. And that is direct access with this direct access button, in which we press the button along with another button like Assignable or Accomp, and it takes us directly to the related function. Okay, so now the next thing that I'm going to show you, and that is a number of assignable functions. So first of all, with the assignable functions, I'll be showing you the pedal assign, in which we can use a sustain pedal and we can assign it to different functions. So here, let me show you. I've got my sustain pedal there, and I can assign it to all sorts of different functions. So I'll show it to you. So before I do that, because my registration memory is still currently set to the registration sequence, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that off for now, so nothing happens. So yes, usually it's set to sustain, but we can assign it to different functions simply by going menu, and then we go to assignable. Or a quicker way to do that is to just press direct access, and then we just press the pedal with our foot, and it takes us to the assignable function, and foot pedals is already selected. So yes, it's currently set to sustain. There is a secondary pedal, but I've only got one pedal with me. But if I remember correctly, if memory serves me well, all the assignable functions for pedal 1 is also the same on foot pedal 2. So whatever I do for foot pedal 1 will also work for foot pedal 2. So let me just go through with you some examples. Okay, so it's currently set to sustain, but let's just say that I want to set it to the start stop. So it's like the equivalent of pressing the start stop button when playing a style. So notice that I'm not pressing this button here. Instead, I'm using the pedal. Okay, and let's do another example. Okay, multi-pad 1, 2, 3 and 4. So notice there's my two hands. I'm not touching any multi-pad buttons whatsoever. So here you go. To prove that I'm not touching the multi-pads, there's my hands, and the multi-pad starting, because I'm using the pedal for that. Let me just go through some more examples. So let's just say here, let's see here. Even registration memories, but I've already showed the registration memory sequence, which kind of acts the same. So I'll just press registration memory. Oh, there we go. It's almost like as if I'm pressing the memory button, and that menu pops up. Memory 1 to 8. Registration bank, and so on. And then when it comes to voices, volume. But it doesn't actually come up. I'm guessing it could be the voice part setup. Let's see here. No, that's fine. Let's go back to it. Let's go to some more examples, like, how about glide? Let's see if that works. Okay, that's pretty cool. It's almost like as if you're using the joystick for the pitch bend. But I'm not actually using the joystick. Or to switch from monophonic and polyphonic. Portamento. So there's all sorts of different, there you go, pitch bend. And modulation. Modulation minus. So yes, there's just all sorts of different functions. Well, here you go, overall. So we just tap part on and off. Part on and off, insertion effect, metronome. Tap tempo or style reset. So I'm not pressing this button, I'm using the pedal. So those are just some examples. And if you want to have the assignable back to its factory default, we just simply hold that and it just goes back to its factory default, which is of course sustain. So there you go. And that is pedal assign. Okay, so now the next thing that I'm going to show you, and that is the knob assign, using these here live control knobs, and you can also assign them to different functions. So they're currently set to, you just press this assign button here and you got 3 different assignable presets here. So we got for the first one it's filter and reverb, for the second one it's dynamics control and style retrigger. I will show the dynamics control in the next video. And the equalizer, low gain and high gain. So let's just go back to number 1. So we can change the filter. Oh, let's just change the sounds. Sorry, I didn't mean to say change the sounds, just have the piano sound. And change the reverb. And we just press reset just to put them back to default. And then we have dynamics control and style retrigger. So we can let's just reset that, and that as well. Style retrigger and equalizer. Let's just reset those. So those are the default assign, but what if you want to assign them to your own settings? I think on here, let's see, assignable, and we just go to, instead of going to assignable, we go on to live control. Or an easier way, just press direct access and assign. It takes you straight to the real-time control knob assign function, the menu. And there's the joystick as well. I'll go through that soon. Okay, so instead of say filter, let's just say we want there we go, master tempo. so we can turn the tempo up and down just using the live control knobs. Or how about style track mute B, for instance? So if you go to the channel, it actually mutes parts of the style as I'm doing. Yeah, go notice when I'm turning the live control up, more style parts have been turned on, and when I turn it down like so, channel part starts turning off. Let's just reset that. So that's a pretty cool function. The same thing applies to knob 2. So let's just say we have like, see here. How about the tuning of the sound? So here we go. So we got that assigned to style, track, mute and tuning. And for the second bit, we can have, instead of dynamics control, let's just say we have, let me just, keyboard volume. So it just turns down the sounds. And for this one, let's just say, for example, harmony arpeggio. So arpeggio velocity. Actually, we'd go for something different. How about the sound octave? That's pretty cool. Let's just reset that. There we go. Okay, so I've selection 1, I've done style, track, mute and tuning, and for selection 2, keyboard volume and octave. Now let's just do the final assign with the live control knobs. It's set to equalizer low gain and high gain. So let's just the left knob, we will select, say, let's see here. Oh no, just going to go through some things until I find the one that let's just say delay. Decay. No, how about release? It would be better. Okay, I don't know why it's set to monophonic. Let's try that again. So I've got it set to release. So we turn that to the far left side, so it's release straight away, sort of the sound. Sounds like a dance piano. Okay, so that's the release. Let's just reset that. Then finally, with this one, we're going to select a different assign. Okay, so this time we're going to we've got some mixer. How about chorus? So for the first one, the first one here, the selection, one of the factory defaults is reverb, but now I've got chorus. So That's just the current the chorus effect. It's more of a delay effect. Let me just reset that. Okay. So now they have been custom assigned to my own choice of settings. So for assign 1, we got style track mute. I'm going to go ahead and reset that. Okay. And then for the second knob, we have tuning. And now for the selection 2, we have keyboard volume and octave. Just reset that, and octave. Okay, and finally, number 3, we have release and chorus. Chorus. And if you want to put the knob assigns back to factory defaults, we just hold that and it'll just takes you back to the factory defaults, which is number 1 is filter and reverb, number 2 is dynamics control, styled retrigger on and off, and the third is equalizer low gain and equalizer high gain. Just put these back to normal and reset the, yep. Okay, there we go. So there you go. And that is knob assign, in which we can assign these live control knobs to our own settings. Okay, so now the next thing that I'm going to show you, and that is the Joystick Assign. So, with the Joystick Assign, this is the first time in a mid-range keyboard in which the joystick is assignable. Just like the Genos 2, the joystick was assignable, but the previous generation, the Genos 1 and the PSR-SX920, it was just restricted to pitch bend and modulation. So I'll show that to you. So, it's currently set to pitch bend and modulation. But that's by default. And to get access to the assign, we just press menu and we go to live control, or we just press direct access and we just touch the joystick and it takes us to the live control with the joystick. Now there are with the X and Y, so I'm guessing that this is X minus and X plus, and this is Y minus and Y plus, sort of like X and Y. And since it is set to pitch bend, we can actually change the pitch bend range. So it's currently set to 2 by default, or maybe set it to 6, and it goes up to 12, so it's almost like a whole octave. Although, is it me, or is that when you have this pitch bend range set to 12 and you turn it up, the piano sounds different? So it kind of sounds like a sort of a 90s dance piano. That's pretty cool. And then when you set it down to sort of like a lower range, it kind of sounds like a detuned upright. Okay, so that's the pitch bend with the pitch bend range. That's pretty cool with the effects with the pitch bend range. If you have it up to 12, and so it's like this. Okay, so we're going to go through some joystick assign. So there are 3 choices. So we've got pitch bend and modulation, and then we have cut off and resonance. Something you'd expect on a synth, really. And we have the arpeggio gate time, arpeggio velocity, but we don't have any arpeggios selected. So I'm just going to show it to you that in which you can change the assign. So let's see here. So for X plus, and I won't go through them all. I'll just go through one as an example. So I'm going to change pitch bend and modulation. So we select that. We're going to select, what shall we do? So how about reverb? And then for this one, we're going to select, let's see here. Bear with me whilst I think of a function. Maybe it's under mixer. Let's just select chorus. So when I push the joystick to the left, that would act as a reverb, and when I push it to the right, it would act as chorus. That's pretty cool, that. And now modulation, when you move the joystick up and down. So I'm going to change those functions. I'm going to change it to let's see here. Just going to go through some. Okay. Oh, any overall? Just going to select some. I mean, to be honest, it doesn't really matter what I choose. It's just an example. So let's go to mixer. Why don't we do let's see here. Let's just do the style mute. So we got as if I'm when I press the joystick down. So we should have style mute. There we go. So literally when I go onto the channel, notice on the screen that part starts turning off, and when I press the joystick down, it starts turning off. So yeah, I press the joystick down, channel parts turn on, and when I put the joystick back, channel part starts turning off. So that's a pretty cool function. Okay. So one more example with the we're going to change this one, modulation plus. I'm going to change it to how about we want some reverb and chorus. So that's the first of the joystick assign. So X plus, X minus is set to, X minus is set to reverb, X plus is set to chorus, and with when you do it up and down, X minus is style track mute, and Y plus is reverb and chorus. So here we go. Reverb, push it right, chorus, and then we turn on the style. Pressing the joystick down will be turning off parts and turning on parts, so it's a sort of a style track mute. I know it's not really ideal for the joystick, but it's just an example, and I've set to, when you push the joystick upward, it will be reverb and chorus. And if you want to put them back to factory defaults, you just simply hold it down. And there you go. There's the pitch bend, the default. And this one here, I'm going to set those, and it'll be back to modulation. Just like with the live control knobs, there are 3 choices of Joystick Assign, in which you can have them assigned to any settings that you like. So there you go. And that is Joystick Assign. A first for a Yamaha mid-range keyboard. I'm pretty sure that Joystick Assign also applies to the PSR-SX920. It didn't exist on Genos 1 or PSR-SX700 or 900. It was strictly restricted to pitch bend and modulation. And that is Joystick Assign. Okay, so now the next thing that I'm going to show you, and that is Assignable Buttons. So we've got 6 assignable buttons here, and although you can't see it on this clip, there's also 2 assignable buttons above the joystick. But you saw that on the previous clip when I was showing the Joystick Assign. There are 2 assignable buttons above the joystick. So the assignable buttons already have factory defaults on there. So this one is half bar fill-in. So whenever we do a fill-in on a style, it's 2 bars, not 4. So usually it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the fill-in ends. But with the half bar fill-in turned on, it's basically half a fill-in. Okay, so assignable B, we have fade in and out. In which we fade the style in and out. Assignable C is metronome. D is the score display. E is lyrics display. And F is my registration bank info. But we can assign them to other settings. So I will show that to you. So we just press either menu and go to assignable, or press direct access and one of these buttons, and it will take you straight to the assignable menu. So, and here we have this assignable buttons, and the ones down the bottom here is articulation 1 and 2, which is the assignable buttons above the joystick. It works in exactly the same way as these assignable buttons, so I will just show that to you. So we've got shortcuts. So let's say mixer. You may not be able to see it, but I'm pressing assignable 1 right now. And that just takes us to the mixer. Let's just put that back to default, which is articulation 1. Now let's go. I'm not going to do them all, but I'm just going to change a few assignable buttons. So A is set to half bar fill in, but I can change it into something else, like a shortcut, for instance. Let's say the voice part setup, and then fade in and out. I can change to, let's see here. I know it's unusual, but I can have it set to intro free. So instead of actually pressing intro free on a style, I can do it on here. So hang on. Why is that? Oh, because they're all turned off. Because of the joystick assign that I showed previously. Okay, back to it. Okay, so B, intro free. So now, note that I didn't press the intro button. Instead, I've pressed B because it's set to intro free. Okay, one more example, because I just want to make this quick and simple. Let's see here. Voice. Let's see. Overall. How about we set it to upper octave? So it's almost upper octave plus. So it's almost like as if I'm pressing the octave buttons on the far right side of the keyboard. So there's just a few assignable buttons. A few have just been changed. So we just press A. It takes us to voice part setup. And B is intro free without actually pressing intro free on the style control. And C is upper octave. So let's just, I have to put the octave back on the actual octave button, but that's basically a plus. So I have to press minus on the actual upper octave. And then finally, if you just want to set them back to the factory defaults, simply hold them and it will take you back to their factory default assignable functions. So there you go. And that is assignable buttons, in which we have 8 assignable buttons in total, in which we can assign to any function we want. We've got 6 assignable buttons up here, and we have 2 assignable buttons above the joystick on the far left-hand side of the keyboard. Okay, so now the next thing that I'm going to show you, and this is going to be the last of the overall assignable functions, such as the pedal assign, joystick assign, live control assign, assignable buttons, etc. The final part of the assignable functions is the home shortcuts. So by factory default, we got here on the home menu, on the bottom of the touchscreen, we have voice part, chord looper, live control, assignable, channel, and demo. Now we can change those home shortcuts. It's very useful because we just press the, there we go, we just press the shortcuts and it takes us to the related menu. So live control, assignable, and so on. Okay, so we need to go on the assignable anyway, so we can change a few of these home shortcuts. Okay, so the first one is set to voice part setup, but we can change that. Let's say I'm going to change it into mixer and change chord looper into microphone settings. Live control, I'm going to change that to, let's see here, voice edit. And then assignable, I'm going to change that to, where is it? I know I had it earlier on. I'm trying to find style creator. Just trying to find it. There we go, style creator. And then finally, I know there's 6 home shortcuts, but I'm going to do 5 as an example. Channel on off. I'm going to change that in to, just get it, multipad creator. There we go. So now our home shortcuts have been changed. So let's just go back to the home screen. Notice that the home shortcuts are different. So mixer, mic setting, voice edit, style creator, multipad creator, but I left this one exactly as it was. It's just demo. And that was channel part on off by default. And that was assignable by default. And that was the live control by default, this. And so on. And now with those changed, we can select, say, mixer. It takes us to mixer. And then we press this, takes us to the microphone settings. Press this one, takes us to voice edit. And this one, style creator. And in this one, multipad creator. And just like with the other assignable functions, if you want to change them back to defaults, it's just simply hold down the shortcut selection, and it just takes us back to their factory defaults, which is, of course, by default we have voice part, chord looper, live control, assignable, channel and demo as the factory defaults. But you can change the home shortcuts to any settings you want, as I've shown. So basically shortcuts such as getting to the mixer or getting to the style creator nice and quickly without having to go through like different menus. So there you go. And that is home shortcuts, and is also the final segment of the assignable functions such as the joystick assign, live control assign, assignable buttons, and similar. So yeah, joystick assign, live control assign, assignable buttons, and home shortcuts, etc. It's all there and all assignable. And also the foot pedal assign. So that's all of the assignable functions. Okay, so now the next thing that I'm going to show you, and that is the Accomp, the fingering mode. So we can change like different fingering types, like single finger, multi-finger, etc. And there's also a new fingering type on the SX920, and that is smart chord, which I will also show you. And there's some other like different things within the Accomp menu that I would like to show you as well. Okay, so we're just going to turn the Accomp on, press direct access, Accomp. It takes us straight to the menu of the split point and fingering. Now, we have these different fingering types. So we have here single finger, which means you only have to use one finger to play a chord. And there's different, like, similar, yeah, so there's different things you can do as well. So press these two to get a minor, or press these two, major 7 and 3, minor 7. So or minor. So with single finger is usually just consist of one finger or two or three, just to do the so here we have multi-finger, so but we can use multiple fingers to play chords. And then we have fingered, but if you press less than one than 3 keys, it's and then we have fingered on bass. So the lowest note, the bass will play with that note. So let's just say the C key, the C chord, for instance. So oh, and this way, then this is the fingered on bass. So it's a C chord, but the bass is playing in E. And this one, C chord, but the bass is playing in a G note, or so F sharp chord, C sharp bass, F sharp chord, F sharp bass, and F sharp chord, B flat bass. And now we have the full keyboard, in which we can use the entire keyboard to play Accomp. So let me show you. So that's the full keyboard. And then we have AI fingered, which is very useful because you can play multiple fingers or you can just play 2 fingers. So for instance, hang on. There you go. That's the fingering type I use the most, is AI fingered. Because you can literally just play full chords, full-on chords, or 1 finger, or press a chord and then like this. So that's the AI fingered, and then we have the AI full keyboard, which works the same way as the full keyboard, except we got AI full keyboard. So let's see here. So which is pretty cool. And now we have a new one exclusive to the PSR-SX920 and SX920, and that is Smart Chord. Now I do remember Smart Chord being on keyboards similar to that, like I remember the PSR-225GM, the PSR-270, I think it was called Easy Chord, so EZ Chord. Okay, so with Smart Chord we've got this cog icon, because we can change different settings, and basically the keyboard would read the way we play the keys, and also plays like different chords depending on what style of music you are playing. So at the moment it's currently set to like C major, type is dance, so I only have to use 1 finger and the keyboard does the rest. Let's try a different style. Let me just get out of there. I'm going to select a different style, and the smart chord should change. But as you can see, not always. Let's just select a rock style. Or maybe it's let's see. Let's try this one. So yeah, it kind of like reads the way that you play the keys with Smart Chord. Oh. Let's just go back to the style. But here we have a setting. Like we can change the type of the smart chord. So it's currently set to dance. Let's just say we want jazz or pop, standard. Let's say pop, for instance. Let's see if it makes any difference. It does. Or maybe set it to minor. change the key signature. Let's just change the type to standard. Let's just put that back. There we go. So that's the new one, the smart chord fingering type. It's quite strange how it works, but it's actually quite amazing. If you just want to use like one finger, the smart chord kind of reads the way you play different chords, and the keyboard does the rest. So that's all the fingering types. And now we have, like, I think I've showed on the first one, the first tutorial, but we have the split point here. So it's currently set to, well, let's just change that back to my AI fingered. There we go. So we'll change it to, say, up to B. Which also changes the left hand side. So we turn on the left voice. But what if I want to put that back to the defaults, the split point? But the left hand side is still set to B. So and we can also do the same for the right hand side. The right free. So let me just put that down. Oh, everything else seems to change as well now. Okay, let's just put that back to normal. Let's just turn that off. No, and all we want is just the, okay, hopefully you can see on the screen there. So right free, I have set it to, okay, so allow me to show you. So this part is just the Accomp, and then we have right 1 and right 2. So, and then up there is just right hand free. So you can actually separate some voices. So we got, say, the left and then the center and right, which is pretty cool. Okay, and then one more thing with the chord, the split point and fingering is the chord detection area. So by standard, it's set to lower, so the left hand side, but we can change it to upper. So we've got the bass. Let me just, hang on, lower. Oh, with the upper, the left-hand side automatically turns itself on. So let me just do an example. So now that it's set to upper, we control chords on the upper hand side of the keyboard, whilst having bass on the left side. There we go, we can turn off manual bass, so we don't have the bass. What if I turn off left? Okay. So that's the chord detection area, in which we can have it to lower or upper, though I'd rather set it to lower because I'm used to playing chords on the left hand, whilst playing melody on the right hand. So I'm just going to put everything back to the defaults. Multi-finger? Nope, I prefer AI fingered. So there you go. And that is split point and fingering type with the accompaniment. So fingering type, where we can have single finger, multi-finger, AI fingered on bass, and the new one, smart chord, and the chord detection area, and the left style and right free split point. and that is the style, fingering type mode, and split point, and other functions related to this here Accomp menu. Okay, so now the last thing that I'm going to show you on part 2 of the tutorial of the Yamaha PSR-SX920 keyboard, and that is the voice part setup. So I'll show that to you. We've already got the voice part home shortcut, so I'm going to select that, and that takes us straight to the voice part setup. Now here we can change like how our sounds work. So it applies to left, right, 1, 2 and 3, and we can select whether we want it monophonic or polyphonic. We change the octave, we can change the pan pot, volume and the equalizer, and this is where we can change our insertion effects, and this is where we can change our DSP effects. So what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to show you an example on just one of the parts. So I'm going to select right 1 for instance, because the same thing also applies to left, right 2 and right 3. Okay, so first of all is the mono. So if we select mono, our sound is now monophonic. I know it's not the perfect sound for that, but that's just an example. And we can also change the octave. And another good thing is that we're going to go to the upper octave buttons. We can really exceed the octave of the sounds. So turn it up or turn it down. The octave, that is. And now we have the pan pot, so it's set to center. So if we want the sounding on the right speaker, we scroll it right. Hopefully you can pick it up, but the sound is coming from the right hand side of the keyboard. And if I scroll this left, and now the sound will sound on the left hand side speaker. And let's just put that, let's put that back to default. And this, his slider here, we can change the volume. And then we press it again to get the default. So it's just some simple stuff really. All those also apply to left, right 2 and right 3, so I won't go through them all. And oh yeah, and here we have the equalizer. So high, low, I'm going to do that. Hopefully you can pick up the difference on video. Okay, I wonder if you can put that back to default or no, only on here. But that's the icon where you can alter the equalizer. And then down here, we can turn on our DSP effect or have it off. So it's currently set to on, so we just turn it off. But I can't really tell with that. So I'm going to change it to a sort of like a distortion guitar, if I can find one. So okay, there we go. And now we turn it off and then turn it back on. This is where we can turn off and on. We can like turn the DSP effect on and off. But if we tap the icon here, this is where we can change our DSP effects. So it's currently set to damper resonance. Let's say delay or cross, or even a distortion piano, if I can find one. And that's where we can change our DSP effects. And then down the bottom here, this is where we can change our insertion effects. So it's currently set to distortion. but nothing can be changed there, as you can see. I will be going through more of the insertion effects later on in this video. This is where we can change the parts, like DSP effects of each part, like the style. But yeah, more to that in the next video. And this is also where we can change like the reverb depth, the chorus as well. So, because it even set that insertion, chorus, reverb. Chorus, there you go, chorus and reverb. We can change that. Oh, let me just turn off that effect for now. There we go. Chorus. We can change the reverb depth as well. So there you go, and that is voice part setup, in which we can call up the menu, the voice part setup, and we can change between polyphonic to monophonic. We can we can change the octave of that sound. See, the good thing is that we can have octaves for like different parts, so it's not like the same, like as if you was pressing the upper octave button. And then this is the pan part where we can change which speaker comes from which sound, the sound. Yep, the pan pot, so that we can say move the sound to the left hand side or the right hand side speaker. The volume, where we can change the volume. Equalizer, yep, octave. Turning DSP effects on and off, changing those effects, and the insertion effects as well as chorus and reverb. I just did it on right 1 as an example, but the same thing also applies to left, right 2, and right 3. And that is the voice part setup. And this is now the end of part 2 of the tutorial of the Yamaha PSR-SX920 keyboard. We've just gone through some more of the in-depth functions. I do hope you have enjoyed this video, and that you have found this tutorial useful, going through the more in-depth functions such as updating firmware, playlist, assignable functions, etc. So please do write back to me and tell me what you think. Thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for the next video, in which it will be part 3 of the tutorial of the Yamaha PSR-SX920, in which I'll be going through some of the more advanced functions.